I want to talk about things that you can do in composition, things that are really fun. When you have a very large group of songs, movements, and pieces, it gets very interesting because what you can do is you can actually have ideas, themes, motifs, chord progressions, any number of things can actually permeate the whole piece so that individual songs and pieces virtually talk to each other, where they have sort of their own language. Then, if you have certain events in this drama, or whatever you would like it to be, then a particular melodic idea or any musical bit of substance is attached to that idea, and so when you bring it back into another story or a piece, it's making a compound statement. Well, here's another interesting way that you can do this. I'm going to refer to a game, a chess game that is, that was played in Leningrad, the 16th game in 1986 of the Kasparov-Karpov World Championship match. A really exciting game. It was a Ruy Lopez, and it was really something special. It was very good. So, what does that have to do with music? How does this connect? Well, everything can connect. So, I came up with a system to sort out what source code might emanate from this particular game. Now, a chessboard at its far left has the lower left is the squares called A1. Then the second square after that, A2, A3, A4, etc. until it hits A8. There are 8 by 8 squares, so it's 1 through 8, A through H, so that every square has a number. E2, the E note in the second register, is associated with the square A1. And at the high, H8 is G7. So, therefore, the move E2, E4, which is the first move, is translated to C sharp in the fifth register, going to D sharp in the fifth register. And Black's move would be F sharp in the fifth register, going to E5. So, I've created here the output of that game. This game is very interesting because, as is typical of games at that level, they're ridiculously complicated. These guys have to sort through mammoth wads of variations with hardly any time at all, very little time for the kind of stuff that they're working through. In fact, people work on that stuff and 2 years later they figure things out. So it's, good luck to them. I'm glad they have to do it. So anyway, beautiful game, and right at the key moment, Garry Kasparov, in his good annotations, he explains this in his book that everyone can get if you're interested. It's one of my favorites. The Garry Kasparov on Modern Chess. It's part 3, where he goes into many Kasparov-Karpov games, and you can certainly learn a lot about chess from reading those. And he explains how he makes an error And Karpov has an absolute grip on the game. But the error was that the C knight should have went to D3 rather than the D knight. And it reverses. So the thing is, I was originally calling this piece reversal. The the theme in the song, it's called Men of Grey. Nancy is compiling a list of the people she calls the Men of Grey because there's sort of nobody knows about them. They have the very dystopian world that they inhabit. The ruling class really sits behind the scenes, but she's compiling a list of who they really are so that her underground minions can, well, do something to them, maybe. I'm not going to tell the whole story. You have to go listen to it or get the book. There's a book. It's all written out and explained. So there is a reversal in this whole process. And so the game very much mirrors the story, and so I really enjoyed that. So now that you've heard the source code, let's identify some really special melodies that are within the source code. These are very musical segments. For those that are interested, I recommend checking out the game Bobby Fischer versus Tigran Petrosian in their candidates match, where Petrosian springs a theoretical novelty and has Fischer dead on the ropes, and even more so, Fischer incredibly defends and has his own reversal and actually wins a game where Tigran squanders a very valuable novelty. That has some actually very interesting melodies. Some games are better than others. Now, in this particular one, we look at this first figure. And now here is the finished version.
Behold the map of gray, touch the map of gray, the map of gray. It was but 7 years spent putting the parts on page. Behold the man of gray.
Now, if you look at these other morsels, what you'll notice is that when you do something like this, it's not just melodies that you get from the source code, but many neat figures from the source code sort of scream out for another melody. You'll hear this set of notes, and you go, "Wow, this melody really sits atop this just beautifully." And so, obviously you thought that up in your head, but the source code generated the situation which helped create it. So it's a chicken and egg thing. Here are the different combinations.
listening to absence of the dawn.
So now you've sort of seen how certain sections were generated. One of the important features of this piece is every note from the source code of the chess game is in the piece, The Men of Grey. One of the things that you'll run into is that ultimately you're writing music, and you're going to have to make sure that the music really works. So there'll be a great deal of bending and twisting and smoothing and stuffing and whatever it takes to make this into a beautiful piece of music. You can't just let the thing lie out there in its relative randomness. Now here's the complete piece. I hope you enjoy it. I could abide by that.
Behold the map of grey, touch the map of grey, the map of grey. It was but 7 years spent putting the parts on page. Behold the men of grey, only class can call the volop to weary way. Hidden far away. Oh, the pain, masters of this world, hanging from a cliff with greasy palms a grip, a tiny little tree afar. Oh, the cow is covered with long tubes, the blood is running red, but what will they all do when next the cow is dead? All the pain, messenger fillet, accident they said, more trickery from Grey, but Atlas now is dead in vain. Behold the plan of Grey. They might lose their way when all the facades break. Follow the muddy trail through the fog, listening to absence of the dog, mortally purified by the women of Grey, inadequately securitized, defiled. See, we're sifting through the mazes for clues of play. Who, when, or what? As like as not, we'll catch the smell of Grey's gavotte. We can catch the tune and dance in the moon that I'm with a partner oh so fair. Behold the men of grey. Giants never fall in the wake of sleeping shade. Behold the men of grey. Hope counts for a lot. Hope could be forgot. Hidden far away electronically. While in luxury, all is hidden far away. Methodologically, toolbar of the shade. Hopelessly traversing endless days of rain, passively